All right, let's go. How is everyone doing this morning? We are live on Facebook. This is also our Ageless Energy podcast. So thank you so much for tuning in and joining us this morning, whether you're watching the replay or listening to the replay, or if you're here with us live. I'm excited to jump on. If you're not sure, if you're brand new, my name is Drew Tadia. It sounds funny that I'm introducing myself, but I know we have new people listening and watching. We have been working with Women 40 Plus for over 20 years. My gosh, that feels like a lifetime. We help women increase energy, burn body fat, and balance hormones. So if that's you, you're in the right place. If that's not you, you are still welcome to join us and hopefully get something out of today's conversation. This is more of a relaxed kind of Q&A type of thing. You guys are welcome to ask questions. You're welcome to ask questions live. Otherwise, Laura jumped in here. Good morning, Laura. Otherwise, I have our topic planned today, which is a strong, bulletproof immune system, especially because it's back to school time, right? we work with teachers. Many of you know Dorothy, my wife, was a teacher for years. And you know what was interesting? Over 10 years, when I say years. You know what's interesting about that is as we became healthier and you learn more and we like to lead by example, she almost never was felt. I don't even like the word sick. Like, I believe we don't use those words, right? So it's tough to do a show like this, but we believe the thoughts that you think, the words that you say, the actions that you take create your reality. So I don't like to use particular words. And you know what? At the time of this recording, we also have a 2-year-old, and it's so apparent, like what he picks up, like he repeats everything. So if you use certain words or certain phrases, he repeats them. And there's things that I really don't want him repeating. And it's just interesting. I'm just thinking about, like, some of you may have heard a past show where I talked about how I cut my toe. So he'll say, "Oh, my toe hurts," even when nothing is nothing's wrong. He kind of repeats, right? Many of you are parents and or even grandparents now. You know exactly what it's like. So saying particular words, I feel like will shape his reality because he'll take actions towards that. And it's no different. It's just more apparent with kids. It's more apparent with kids than with adults because adults are pretty good at hiding things. Like we spend much of our lives hiding our reality. I'll speak for myself, right? So at any rate, we got a bunch of people in here. Randall and my mom's in here. Sharon jumped in here. Paula's in here. Good morning from High River. Yep. I'm over 40, way over. Morning, Karen. It's that's perfectly okay. Sharon's one of our brand partners and distributors in the High River area. So if you need product, you can definitely reach out to her. Today, like, I don't know. You know what? There's this stigma that I carry with supplements, and I feel like I've been fighting it for years. And so those of you that don't particularly know or might be newer to our audience, we have a holistic wellness company. I started out as a personal trainer, and then I moved into more nutrition. Like, nutrition always interested me. And even when I was playing, my background is I went from high school to collegiate to professional baseball as a professional athlete, and I made my own programs, and then I made programs for my teammates. And because they saw my results and they're like, well, I want that too. So it wasn't even like, it wasn't like a professional. I was like, this is what I want to do. It just kind of naturally occurred because I became good at it for doing it for myself for years. So it was interesting. I would always look at nutrition. I always felt like nutrition could be my edge when I looked at my competition, from my teammates. Sounds crazy, but you are actually competing for a position on your team and then the competition of the other teams. And I always was looking for some type of edge. There's got to be something that can make a difference. And I looked at nutrition. Nutrition was very clear to me. Like, if I ate better, then that guy, I would heal quicker and I would gain more muscle and I would run faster. I'd hit the ball further. Like that was very clear to me at early on. And I'm talking like early 20s. And because I was a skinny kid and I needed to build muscle and I needed to be strong and last longer than the other guys. So that was interesting. And then from nutrition, I got into supplementation. And supplementation on a deep level, like I started to pull apart all the supplements I have and read all the ingredients. Again, this is at a young age. I've been doing this for 20 years. I started at the end of high school because I was only 160 pounds in high school, which is very lightweight. And I went to college right from high school, and I was competing against these guys that were like 200 pounds. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with myself? I got to figure something out. So that's how my road kind of began so long ago. But I feel like when it comes to supplementation, that was like a hack for me. I was like, if I could eat better and supplement, I would be so much better than these guys, which is what happened. So I would speak more nutrition online for whatever reason. I'm not quite sure why, but when I was doing personal training or fitness classes, that was fitness. So a lot of people that were doing fitness, this was I don't mind dating myself, but this was before Facebook, if you could imagine. You guys know what I'm talking about. The younger generation is like, what do you mean life before social media? So this was before everything was plastered all over social media, like your entire life. I was doing my writing, like I was writing on a website, I was writing on a blog post, and then a little bit got into social media a bit early on, just nutrition, and everything else was fitness. So I kind of had two worlds separated. I feel like this is a long-winded story. Let me get to my point, is that there's a stigma when it comes to supplementation and even trainers, which bothers me a little bit because I feel like they should know. And so an acquaintance, we've talked a handful of times. We're what is it? What's the word? Cordialant? Is that a word? Cordial? She's super nice. She's fine. Like I don't have any issues with her. But she wrote something about you don't need supplements. All you need to do is exercise and eat better. And I'm like, I get it. I know what you're saying. And I'm in mastermind groups. I'm in paid business groups where everyone's an online trainer or coach, whatever it is. And there is a stigma with supplements. And the problem is they don't know. Like if you look at and again, I've been doing this for 20 years. Like I could tell you when one person is lacking a nutrient or a vitamin or a mineral, what they're going to be experiencing, right? And that's very different from grabbing the cheapest supplement at Costco or at the pharmacy and being like, well, this was chalky, it gave me constipation, and I didn't notice anything different. Right, there's a clear difference between that and a good quality supplement. But if you look at magnesium, for example, to me, it's like, unless you don't know, unless you're lacking education or knowledge in some way, which the good majority is, I understand, that's fair, because it's not like it's taught in schools. You have to go out and find this information as an adult. There's no way if it's good quality, there's no way that couldn't help improve your health, right? There's just too much research. There's too much knowledge. There's too much understanding when you have a mineral. You could look at zinc, which I'll talk about. You can look at vitamin D. Like without properly supplementing, I just don't think you can find your optimal health. And then you have people like in the health world, like a trainer or coach, and they're saying like, you don't need that stuff. And I'm like, you don't know. Like that's a very clear statement to me that you're lacking knowledge and understanding of what certain supplements can do. And I'm not saying like you should take as many supplements as I do or as I used to. I like food. Like I think food is very important. But there's so much benefit. It's like a life hack. It's a supplement. It's a nutrition hack to properly put vitamins in your body. Like if you look at magnesium used to come from soil. Like it used to come from food. But our food is such low quality. Like it lacks, like we don't have the food that our grandparents had, right? You could go to a farmer's market, you could go to your own garden, and even there you have to look at the seeds and you have to look at the pesticides that they're using. Like there's so much to it now. And I'm just thinking like to not supplement, I just feel like I don't want to say it's a mistake. I don't have a better word, but I'm just thinking like, why wouldn't you? It just makes so much sense. So my point to all that is often we get questions in this group, and most of you know that we run, like we have a, with our holistic business, like our holistic health business, we look at fitness, nutrition, support, accountability, and supplementation. So we work with manufacturers to design our own supplements. And I have very exciting news coming up soon that we've been working on for a long time, but I can't share it just yet. Some of you could guess that we have something coming that's awesome. Straight from a Canadian manufacturer. It just takes longer than we want. And at any rate, so I guess with that stigma of like, oh, supplements don't work, or probably everyone's heard like, oh, you just pee out your supplements, they're a waste of money. And then you have like people in the health industry that are like, you don't need it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, just talk about what you know. It'd be better to just do that. I want to get into, hi daddy, Asian's watching. Hi baby. I want to get into, often we have these Q&As and a lot of supplement questions come up. So I feel like I'm maybe transitioning a bit in the business world and being more open to talk about supplements. It's not that I hide them. I just feel like like when we talk about our coaching, our program, a lot of people are like, do I have to take your supplements to join? And I'm like, no, you don't. We do meal plans and grocery shopping lists. And you don't have to supplement. But again, we run into that problem of, I would say, low quality types of programs that are like, you have to take shakes 3 times a day or eat our packaged foods or you can't do the program, right? And I'm like, so like they expect you to do that for the rest of your life, right? Unless or it's not going to work, or as soon as you stop the program or you stop taking their supplements or packaged foods or crappy shakes, you're going to you're going to lose your results, right? Like, doesn't make sense to me. But that's the world we live in. So with my own limiting mindset of, sometimes I just rather avoid talking about supplements. Often like men will come up to me and they'll ask me, like, it's very rare like a woman says, what do you do? It's usually men. What do you do? Like, what business are you in? And I tell them and they'll be like, oh, I could use some supplements. And I'm like, our supplements are for women. Or they'll say something like, oh, I could use a fitness program. And I'm like, we work with women. So it's kind of funny. At any rate, I feel like I'm coming more into my own, and we've been doing this for a long time, so I feel more open. And I'd like to do more shows about supplements in particular, and just put it out there like, these are supplements. These are supplement shows. This is supplement information. If you don't want to learn about supplements, then obviously don't watch. But I feel like understanding supplementation, understanding clean ingredients, and when you go into a pharmacy, hopefully you're not getting your supplements there, but it's so overwhelming. It's like, where do I start? So I want to get into it here. Let me read some comments, and I'll start giving you guys some information here. We had did I say Tara, Shelley, Cindy, Dorothy, Zach, Christine. He just waved at you and said hi and splattered guac everywhere. It's a guac morning. Hi, Sandy. He's saying, I love you, Daddy. I have a very nice daddy. I have a very nice little boy. Annette's in here. Good morning. And Tracy's in here. Good morning, everyone. So it's so hard. Like, it's such a different world being a parent, right? Like, your whole world changed. Obviously, like, people used to say that and I didn't really understand it. Your whole world changes, right? Like, your priorities change. Like, I like to work. Like, I really enjoy working, but I have a 2-year-old and I love spending time with my 2-year-old. So it's like, do I work or go to the park? And I'm like, I'm a big kid. I run around the park too. I swing and go down the slide. So I'm like, it's a constant struggle of, he's like, can you read me a book? And I'm like, yes. I'll just tell my clients, I can't have a call right now. We're reading, whatever. He likes cars right now. We have Nora says Grand Rising, and Joanne says hello. Good morning, Gordon. Let me know if you guys have questions. So let me jump in here and give you guys some more direct information about supplements in particular, or based around your immune system. So right now, I think it's important to, how can I say, boost your immune system. Like right now, we have a great opportunity to put in extra effort into our immune system and be as strong as possible. I talk about having a bulletproof immune system. And I think you can tell, this is how I would suggest you can tell if you have a bulletproof immune system or how strong your immune system is. So number one is how often you feel ill, S-I-C-K. How often you're not feeling 100%. That's number one. And then when, and I feel like maybe it might be a tall expectation to ask of yourself to never not feel well. But that time frame, or the frequency that it happens, should be very minimal. And then the amount that it lasts of you not feeling well, as minimal as that is the healthier that you are as a whole. So if you're not feeling well for 2 or 3 weeks at a time, like that's a long time. And if you're not feeling well, in my opinion, that's a long time. If you're not feeling well often, like half a dozen times, 6, 7, 8, 10 times a year, like that's a lot. Like that's a long time. And I know people struggle throughout the winter time. I really have a hard time with you're not feeling well because of like, you know, like the thing like your mom or grandma would say, put your hat on, or you take your jacket off. That's the reason that you're not feeling well. Like I don't buy it. So here's my point. You have to look at the food that you're putting in your body. So that food will either heal you or harm you. And when I say harm you, I'm not talking about, you could look at rancid oils that actually damage your joints and will expedite the process of something like arthritis, right? You could even look at osteoporosis, right? Like that's a very real concern for women in this age group, 40 plus, that we talk to every single day. So understanding that food that you're putting in your body, like refined sugar, strips minerals from your bones, making them weaker. Like it's not surprising. It's not like new information. It's like if you continue to put refined sugar in your body, your bones will get weaker. And you'll be more inclined to have brittle bones or break your bones, right? And it's the same thing, like you look at knee surgery, hip surgery, like you have to look at the years before of what you've been doing. I had a conversation with a couple people more recently around medication. They said, well, do you notice any side effects? And they're like, no, I don't notice any. And I'm like, sorry, I didn't say that. I said, you may want to consider, I rarely say should, you may want to consider what side effects that could come in the future. And they say, well, I don't see any. And I'm like, well, you started it 3 weeks ago. That's going to come into effect in 3 years, right? So the damage that we put on our body now shows up later in life. So you have to understand, like those rancid oils that you're putting in your body are breaking down your joints and are causing arthritis. So what happens is later in life, we're like, oh, it's just arthritis. It's just from age. And I'm like, no, it's not. No, I don't argue with anyone, especially with health stuff. I'm like, okay, because you have some people that they're so ingrained with what they believe, nothing will change their mindset. And that's not my job. Say bye, Daddy. Got to put the screen away. Good idea. Good plan. Morning, Deanne. Okay. So understanding that the choices you make now, it's the same thing with if you could look at your immune system now, right? Your immune system resides in large part in your gut, right? So if you are continually putting low quality foods in your gut and intestines, you are damaging your immune system, which may not show up now. So here's the thing, like consider this. This might be a hard concept for some of you to wrap your heads around, not with respect, is that summertime is filled with drinks, appetizers, chips, coleslaw marinated in mayonnaise, like ketchup with liquid syrup. Read your ketchup bottles. Um, and then we have fall coming, and I just thought of this now. We have fall coming, and in most cases we feel like it's just school, and it's everyone's runny noses, and the weather's changing. It's getting colder. Like, in my opinion, I would look at all the things that happened over the summer and probably the 10 pounds of weight that you gained over the summertime, which is why September is our busiest time. And we're going to get a whole rush of people saying, got to get back into a routine, gain a bunch of weight. What can you do for me? Right? So you have to consider what you've been doing in the past that equals your future, right? So talking about rancid oils, those oils also disrupt your gut bacteria. So paying attention to the food that you're directly putting in your body will make a huge difference in your immune system or your immune health, right? I got to tell you real quick, I had this really cool conversation with Laura, and I had an interesting story. Like, I was in Australia and I ended up breaking my finger and sprained my hand. My hand was like a balloon. And I came back, and I had a client that was a nurse, and she was like, just go get it looked at. Like, just make sure. Because I was like, nah, it's fine. Like, it barely bothers me anymore. She's like, just go get an x-ray. You don't have to do anything else. So I was like, okay. I went and got an x-ray. And it was a very short time. I don't know how long it was. I feel like it was like 3 weeks, but maybe it was 6 weeks. Anyways, the doctor looked at my hand and was like, oh, he's like, it looks like it was broken, but it couldn't have been broken 3 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago, whatever it was. So he brings over another doctor, and he's like, well, it was broken. Can't really say how long ago. And I'm like, I'm telling you, it was only, a few weeks ago. So they brought over a nurse, and she looked at it. Anyways, they were like dumbfounded that it healed so quickly. I don't even know if they believed that it healed so quickly, but that was the only time I broke it or had trauma or damage to my hand. So fast forward, I had a really nice conversation with Laura. She ended up breaking her femur. She ended up breaking her leg, and she's like, it's challenging. You got to put a boot on. Driving was an issue. Working, it's like it changes your life. Like I barely, like, I cut my toe, and it's crazy how it changes your life. But in 6 weeks, I think it was actually 5 weeks. Are you still here, Laura? I think it was like 5 weeks. She was like, they were like, oh wow, we can, like, you can take your boot off, or let's leave your boot on for another week. So 6 weeks. And I'm like, you broke your leg 6 weeks later. And I guess to put some context behind that, Laura's been working with us for quite a while. So probably close to a year, Laura. And she eats well. She exercises. She was talking about how strong her upper body was. 5 weeks, how strong her upper body was from getting around, and like having like your body healing itself from proper nutrition, from proper supplementation, from exercising. And I just think, like, that is so powerful to me, just to think of that, how some people don't heal. Like, some people don't heal. Some people take months and months, if not years, to fully recover from something like that, or actually like rehab, and then walking with a limp, and then reteaching yourself how to walk and move. And like, it could be forever, but you have to look at someone that doesn't work out, and that doesn't supplement, and doesn't eat right, and like it's got to be night and day. So I feel like when you're looking at your immune system and trying to like improve your immune system or avoid viruses or bugs, you have to look at the lifestyle that you live. Are you being active? Are you doing the little things that make a difference? That probably don't seem to make a difference short term, but they certainly make a difference long term. So that's something to consider now as we age. Like, we all want to be mobile and strong and healthy. And now, like, we don't think about now, right? It was that same conversation I had with a couple people, like, oh, they started taking meds, which is fine. I'm not saying don't take them. Don't take my words out of context. I'm just saying, I think we all know side effects come with, so what's coming with it, right? So what's coming with it? And it's not short term. It's not like, oh, I don't feel anything extra right now. My digestion is fine. Like, my mood is fine. My healing is fine. My gut bacteria is fine. Like, you don't know what damage that kind of stuff is doing for months or in years later. And then it's so long, a lot of people don't connect the dots. They're like, oh, well, that couldn't have been it. That was years ago, right? Mora. Is that how you say that? Your name, Mora? A femur is a huge bone in the thigh. Which bone did you break, Laura? Not the femur. Tibia? I should know. I should probably know. It was her lower leg. Oh, Laura says fibula, not fibia, um, and medial malin ankle. Okay, so when it comes to your immune system, right now we have to start taking action towards improving our immune system and building a bulletproof health. I know I said I'm going to talk about supplements. Let me get there. One of the things I want you guys to consider is start putting fermented foods in your body. I'm a big fan of fermented foods, building a strong gut bacteria. Those of you that are dealing with maybe some imbalanced hormones, this isn't directly linked to increased cortisol levels from stress that hangs on to body fat, but those that want to better balance your hormones, which will improve your mood, it will reduce hot flashes, it will make a big difference. I'm telling you, countless women come to us with a number of different menopausal types of symptoms that they struggle with, and when we start to get them eating better, exercising, including fermented foods into their diet, their menopausal types of symptoms, is that the proper word? They start to relax. Their body's not inflamed. It's not so they start to sleep better. And I feel like that has a lot to do with fermented foods. So with our clientele, we try to get everyone to eat fermented foods every week, if not every day. So for you guys, again, to help improve your immune system, it also resides in your gut bacteria. So starting to put cleaner foods in your body, starting to add fermented foods. I like kimchi. I'm a big fan. If not, there's raw sauerkraut, miso, which is the only soy product I'd recommend because it's fermented. You could look at pu'er tea. Green tea has tons of antioxidants. And then there's a couple others. Who's in our Fit Fam? You guys, or who's in our MAP program? You guys should know a couple others that I recommend. Kombucha, kefir. There's a number of different things that you can add. What you need to do is start taking action, really. That'll make the biggest difference in your life. Let me know in the comments if anyone has fermented foods on a regular basis. Okay, I'm going to look at magnesium bath flakes. So if you're not sure, there's Epsom salts that everyone knows about. Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate, very low quality form of magnesium. It's very abundant. You find it at every pharmacy. Usually, like what's that company, like Dr. Teal or something like that. They'll grab a good quality product and they'll put a bunch of junk in it. So they put fragrance in there and like a multidextrin and a couple other things that shouldn't be in there. So basically, you take a good quality product, you ruin it, and now you're sitting in toxins. Sorry, I said good quality. Epsom salt on its own could be considered good quality, at least without the fragrances and all the other nonsense. However, magnesium bath flakes is actually magnesium chloride. So magnesium chloride is at the top of the absorbability scale. And if you see them, they actually look like little flakes. And they will, if you leave them on the counter, you drop them in the bath, they'll dissolve in minutes, if not seconds. If you put Epsom salt in your bath, often you're laying on Epsom salt. I've done it before I understood the difference and started to use magnesium chloride bath flakes. So you could be sitting on Epsom salt and it feels like you're sitting on sand. And then you run the tub. You take the you take the water out of the tub and half of it goes down the drain because it hasn't dissolved. That's a low quality magnesium. What you want is a magnesium chloride that can help absorb into your body. So magnesium is great for detoxing. It's great for adding magnesium to your body, and this can help improve your immune system. I like to use, I put borax in our baths. We use bentonite clay to help detox, and then we also use baking soda. Baking soda and baking powder, I always get mixed up. I'm pretty sure it's baking soda. Help me out in the comments. We have some comments here. Chicory root, yes. Okay, we got, Dan says, I just made my first batch of sauerkraut. Oh, awesome. Could you take a picture? I would love to see that. I've how do you say that? At home, I've made kimchi before. Never sauerkraut. Laura has kombucha. Shelly said chicory root tea. That's a big one. So good for your digestion. Sharon says, I make my own kombucha. I can read over here. I tried to dissolve Epsom salt in warm hot water to kill my weeds and stirred more than 15 minutes and it didn't dissolve. Yeah, I could see that. Baking soda. Thanks, Laura and Mom. And Laura or Paula says, I've been drinking kombucha every day. Yes. So these are some of these. You guys are. This is our MAP program. Laura, Shelly, Paula, in our MAP one-on-one coaching program. So okay. So when you're looking at improving your immune system and getting minerals in your body and detoxing at the same time, you want to have a good, well-rounded detoxing bath. I would say so at least once a week. That's one. And during this season, I would go to 3 times a week, like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, to continually detox our body. So that's number one. That's the first thing that I'd recommend that you guys start doing on a regular basis, besides fermented foods, and then avoiding earlier. So if you didn't catch that, I was saying that we should avoid avoid low quality foods like refined sugar. That's going to weaken our bones. It also weakens your immune system. So cleaning up your diet and avoiding products like refined sugar. And then I talked about rancid oils that ruin your gut bacteria. So if we can piece this together. I was saying that fermented foods help improve your gut digestion. If you're putting rancid oils in your body, that destroys your gut digestion, which also your gut microbiome, which also destroys your immune system. So I'm piecing this together. Do you see the puzzle I'm putting together? So when I say rancid oils, I'm talking about seed oils. You're looking at canola oil, grapeseed oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil. There's a ton of them. You want to put better quality oils like an MCT oil into your body. You want to put avocado oil, or just eat fats, right? Eat an avocado. Okay. So we have the Epsom salt, so we have the bath flakes. If you want the bath flakes, they're on our website, trueformlife.com. If you want to find them somewhere else, I'm okay with that. Hopefully this information helps. Chlorella is a big one for me during the season. Our spirulina sells better than our chlorella. I'm not exactly sure why. I think people connect with like protein, for example, and there's a higher protein in spirulina, or it's taken in the morning, which is easier to remember than taking chlorella in the evening. But if our immune system is compromised in any way, if we feel like a little tickle, or if we feel like, I didn't really sleep great, we double the chlorella we take. So we sell small chlorella tabs. So these are organic. They're grown in fresh water, not in the ocean. I feel like that's important because if you look at a omega-3, for example, usually from the ocean, you have to look at hard metals that are in fish, that are in omegas, that are in those little pills. If you're looking at omegas, you have to buy them in a dark container, glass container that's stored in the fridge. That's omegas in particular. I'm not going to get into that too much. Not a huge fan of those, but I would consider sourcing a better quality omega in the future for our audience because there's so much low quality out there. But when you're looking at chlorella in particular, we have ours is the cell walls are cracked through sound. This is an incredible, realization. If those cell walls are not cracked, so if you go into the pharmacy or you go to Costco doesn't sell it. If you go and you look on Amazon, you try to find the cheapest version, you're going to find a product that is not bioavailable, which means it won't break down, digest, and absorb. So when I talk about magnesium, that's the easiest way to help you understand how to absorb these types of products. So, the best way to get the most benefits out of them. For example, if you have an Epsom salt and it doesn't really absorb into our body because it's at the lowest absorbability scale, you're not getting much out of it, right? Like it's only $10 or whatever, $5 for a bucket of it, right? So you put 2 cups of it in your bathtub and your body's absorbing like 10% of it, right? Or you put a half a cup of magnesium chloride in your bath and your body's absorbing 80% of it, right? Depending on if you're consuming fluoride toothpaste, if you have coffee in the morning, if you have those binding toxins that your body shouldn't be using, your body is not, if you're having calcium with magnesium, your body's not absorbing the magnesium like you think it is, which is always an interesting question. And of course, I don't mind any questions. I welcome questions, but I often hear, well, how much magnesium should I be taking a daily? Like, of course, we have a recommended daily allowance. The problem is that most people are doing other things that would reduce the ability for your body to absorb, right? So if someone is taking one pill, it's a CalMag pill, right? And people are like, I could get like more bang for your buck. I could take one pill and I can get magnesium and calcium at the same time. Well, your body doesn't absorb the magnesium because calcium acts as a blocker, which is very important for you guys to understand that if you're taking a magnesium or a calcium pill, it has to be taken on its own. And in most cases, I wouldn't even recommend that. Crazy, right? Because everyone's doctor says you should be taking a calcium pill. What you should be doing is exercising, using resistance training to make your bones strong, and you should be avoiding refined sugar. Like doctors don't talk about that, right? Maybe some, but they're like, you should take, like, you are at risk of osteoporosis. You're getting older, your bones are getting weaker. You should take this calcium pill. If it was me, I would say stop eating refined sugar that's weakening or stripping minerals from your bones, making them weaker and more prone to breaks. And you start doing resistance training so you're stronger and have more of an ability to age gracefully. Morning, Monique. Monique works at Luminescence. And Luminescence is in Calgary here. They carry our products as well. So if you guys are in Calgary in the south, you can stop by at any time. They have an incredible healing center. And I'm actually going to be there 2 days in a row in September. 26th and 27th, Monique. Can you put some details in the comments, please? Maybe some of our audience is around or wants to check that out. Okay, I got 2 other ones. And I know you're going to ask me what zinc. You're going to ask me what zinc, right? Zinc is super important. You have maybe some, I don't know if I'd call myself an expert. I was going to say some other experts, some other professionals, maybe naturopathic types of doctors, those that are more into nutraceuticals, understand the importance of vitamins. Some would say zinc is the most important mineral you can put in your body. I would say magnesium is slightly swayed. But zinc is something that we should all be taking to support your immune system, to support your hair, nails, your metabolic function, like in your body. Like your body, with a higher zinc level, your body will metabolize better. You can burn body fat better. You can absorb minerals better. Zinc is it's really difficult because it's not like you could look at bananas, for example. Like eat bananas because they're high in potassium, or oranges. I don't know how oranges got that, because you could look at peppers like bell peppers. You could look at strawberries. They have higher vitamin C content than an orange. So I don't know how orange got the vitamin C term. At any rate, that's an easy one, right? You should have magnesium for sleep. That's what most people say, even though it has tons of other health benefits. I would say chronic pain is higher than sleep. But having a good quality zinc on a regular basis, I think a lot of people got into zinc during the COVID era a few years ago, like, oh, we should take zinc. And then a lot of people either forgot about it or stopped taking it. Oops, I didn't even know my thing was sticking out. Sorry, lost my train of thought. So in my opinion, everyone should be taking zinc on a regular basis. So I know everyone asked me this question, so we don't sell this product. So you can go, I don't know where you can go. You go to your local health food store. I don't think you're going to find it you're not going to find it at a grocery store. Oh my gosh. So this is the one we take. It's called Trace Minerals. This is the brand. It's ionic zinc, and this has a little bit of copper and a little bit of magnesium to help with the metabolization of the zinc. This one is unflavored. We put it in our kombucha, in homemade kombucha, with our liquid magnesium, with our zinc and vitamin D. I prefer liquid. I'm actually talking to some manufacturers about new products, and they're like, why don't you just do a pill? And I'm like, I don't want to do a pill. That's not to say we never do a pill. Like, we have tabs of our greens, our chlorella and spirulina. We have tabs. That's cold pressed, organic. That's a food. It's very different than a capsule. Of course, we have our activated charcoal. Sorry, I don't mean to say of course, because some of you may not know. I don't mean to be for the newer people. We have an activated charcoal capsule. The reason we got the capsule is because we pulled our audience, and I asked. Because if you look at the area we lived in, I looked at all kinds of different health food stores that sold activated charcoal, and most of it is wood derived, and most of it was in powder. And we're always looking for better quality and to stand out. And I asked our audience, would you like a activated charcoal in powder? Because I thought that was why it was so abundant, because maybe people wanted it as in powder. Or would you like it as a capsule? And almost everyone said capsule. So that's why we started working with a manufacturer to bring in a coconut-derived activated charcoal in capsule form. So ours is very different than what you see on the market. I don't even know if you could find these at health food stores. You'd have to go online to some specialty type of shop. So that's a capsule. That's why we have those. That when I'm looking at absorbability, that's why our liquid magnesium is it's such a different product. It's a different experience. We have people come to us that have been taking magnesium for years, and they start taking our liquid magnesium. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe yours works so much better. What's happening?" Well, what's happening is it goes to your bloodstream quicker. So it doesn't go through your digestive tract. It doesn't need to be rehydrated or broken down. It hits your it hits your bloodstream in such a rapid amount of time. Most of our people say they see results within the first couple of days. Now, I don't like to say that too much because that I need to manage expectations, right? Some people will say, I'm taking your product, been 2 days, don't notice anything. And I'm like, well, give it 2 weeks. Maybe the one bottle lasts a month. Just take the bottle and see what happens. Because most of our people that take it on a regular basis see great results. Now, if you're taking any type of supplement randomly, like 2 days here, next week there, you're not going to get the benefits. Natural supplementation works differently than a pharmaceutical. A lot of people compare them together. There's someone outside like drilling something. Awesome. So the more consistent you are with natural supplements and the longer time frame you take them, the more benefits you'll get. With like a pharmaceutical, like let's say for example, you have antibiotics, you take that for like 10 days and then you stop taking it and then whatever is gone, should be gone. Whatever virus or whatever thing you're working on. You take like Advil for a headache and you take two or three tabs or whatever you're taking and then it's gone, right? This is different. Natural supplements are very different than the pharmaceutical world. You need to take them consistently, so I would say daily in most cases, and then you take them over a longer time frame, you'll see more benefits. Like magnesium, like we have magnesium stores in our body. We slowly fill up those magnesium stores and we become healthier and stronger, and we start to see more benefits the longer we take it, which is absolutely incredible. So I feel like that's worth mentioning. Okay, I got one more tip for you. I'm going a little bit over time here. That was the zinc, and I'm going to read Monique's comment here. That was the zinc that I would suggest in liquid form because of the bioavailability. I feel like that's a better option. I hope I don't kick myself here later down the line, but I don't think we're looking at zinc, to be honest with you, because it's such an important mineral, and I feel like you could possibly find a good quality capsule or tab, but I would go with zinc, at least through my research, from what I understand at this point in time. That's probably going to be the best bang for your buck, meaning it's going to be the most absorbable. I got one more for you. Hang tight. Maura says, I'm joining for the first time and loving this information. I'll check this out for sure. Awesome. Am I saying your name right, Maura? I haven't seen you in here before, but we're happy and grateful that you're here with us. And how did you find us? Good morning, Angela. Okay. Monique says September 26th health networking event is September 26th is a health networking event. I think that's just for entrepreneurs. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then on September 27th, they have an open house. Come and join us. 1 year anniversary. Whoop, whoop. Congrats, you guys. Experience the energy enhancement system. Drew will be speaking about at noon. I'll be at noon. If you're a health practitioner and would like to network, send me a message. And Monique says, magnesium is my favorite supplement. Oral, topical, never miss a day. Awesome. You do need, you guys do need 2 forms of magnesium, oral and topical, to get the full absorption rate, but I'm going to talk about that in another time. The last one I want to recommend is vitamin D plus K2. I'll just brush on this one briefly. I would suggest finding vitamin D in liquid form, again, for absorbability. This is just my opinion. I feel like through the research that I've done, in most cases, the liquids will absorb much better than your pill, powder, or potion. Often the pill comes with a bunch of nonsense, like a silicone dioxide to make it white, maltodextrin, I don't know, sucralose, which ruins your gut bacteria, a bunch of nonsense. So it's hard. I feel like it's harder to find. It's harder to find a good quality pill than it is a liquid. It's really hard to find a vitamin D without. We don't sell this either, by the way. I feel like I don't know if I need to say that, but some of the products I talked about are on trueformlife.com. Otherwise, and then hopefully at some point, like we're a growing business, even 10 years in, I feel like we're still young and have a good opportunity to reach more people and help more people. So our business grows, we'll be able to invest more money into better quality products. And some of these we have considered, like, of course, price and finding a manufacturer and the time commitment it takes to bring these products to market. But I feel like it's okay to recommend products that we don't just recommend our products. So at any rate, my last one here is vitamin D. Great for the immune system, great for teeth, nails, teeth. Like, it's super important for to avoid calcification, which is what the K2 is for. Now, a lot of times you see someone that just takes a vitamin D. I don't know what type of long term. If you're taking, it's rare to take too much vitamin D, but it's definitely a possibility without the K2, which is the driver. It takes it to the places that it needs to go. So when you're getting, so I would suggest avoiding sunflower oil or safflower oil when possible. That's hard to find because it costs more for manufacturers to make. The margins become less, and companies don't want to sell it. So you want to find probably an MCT oil base with a vitamin D plus K2. And then we take that every morning with our zinc, liquid magnesium, and kombucha. It's just a jam packed with spirulina tabs. Like, we jam pack our body and our immune system. This is fantastic for your immune system. At least here, we have people listening from all over, especially as a podcast. But here in Canada, our days are going to get shorter. The sunlight's going to be out less. You're not going to be getting natural sunlight or natural vitamin D. You have to supplement. This is where it comes in from people that don't know what they're talking about, like, oh, you don't need to supplement. It's nonsense, especially during shorter days, especially those of you that don't, like, I looked at some office buildings where there's no windows, and I'm like, I've been in some office buildings where, and I don't mean to, like, some of you could be in that situation. Like, I couldn't live like that. Like, it'd be so difficult to work inside in a box with no windows. In that situation, you need extra vitamin D, and the recommended daily allowance is way too low. I'm not sure if I want to get into that at this point, but you need more than you think you do. That's for sure. I think the recommended daily allowance from like the medical side may be like 250 IUs, but you should be above, well, let me say I take above 2,000 a day. But I'll leave that up to you. I'm not telling you what to do. Let's see. Okay, I'm wrapping things up. So you guys should be taking your vitamin D, vitamin D K2 in liquid form for your immune system. These are all supplements that are going to help you keep a strong immune system, especially if it's like back to school. We give our 2-year-old all of these supplements, all of them. He gets a spirulina tab in the morning. He gets a chlorella tab in the evening. He has a less of a dose. He gets we put magnesium bath flakes in just about every bath he has. He has a bulletproof immune system. I think he's 2, and I think maybe a couple times he hasn't been feeling well. I think he had a fever one time, but I also think that was because of teething. And a couple times he had like a runny nose. Could have been teething, could have been immune system. But other than that, and he takes vitamin D. He takes everything we take. So I wouldn't recommend it I didn't recommend it to friends and family. Like, we don't take anything or sell anything that we wouldn't take ourselves or recommend to friends or family. So at any rate, let me read these last comments and I'll get out of here. We're friends. You've reached out. I've been over here eating chips. Well, at least you're honest. I don't know if that's a joke or if you're real, but at least you're honest. I love chips, by the way. We can talk about that another time. Sharon says, same here. Can't miss a day. That's piggybacking on Monique's comment. Heavy on the OI in my name. Oh boy. I don't want it. Let's talk. Send me a voice message on how to pronounce your name. Doesn't mag make you tired? I need to learn. No, magnesium does not make you tired. It's a very interesting product. It's a very interesting mineral. We suggest it actually gives you a boost of energy. I think like that comment and others similar to that would come from the world of you take magnesium in the evening to help you sleep. Magnesium doesn't actually make you sleep. Magnesium is a relaxant. So those people with restless legs, they do really well with magnesium. Like Dorothy, my wife's family, they have a like health history. Like her dad has restless legs. She has restless legs, but she doesn't anymore. Like it's very rare because of activity supplementation, etc. But naturally, that runs in their family. And the reason restless legs people do well is because like you like if you ever experience it, like it's like jumping and jittery. The magnesium is a relaxant. That's why it's really good for your digestion because it relaxes your digestive tract. It relaxes your muscles. So in a more relaxed state, you're more easier to fall asleep. It's the same thing with, if you have like tight or sore muscles, it's because you have a knot there. And once that's released, the magnesium can help release your muscles or relax your muscles. You have less pain because there's not like a big ball clumped up that's like vibrating or pulsing. So that's why magnesium helps sorry, I just want to jump back on here. That's why magnesium helps with chronic pain in particular, is because it's a relaxant. So it doesn't make you fall asleep. It makes you feel more relaxed. Now on the other end of it, it actually gives you energy, which sounds counterintuitive or counterproductive because people take it in the evening and they can fall asleep better. How can it give you energy? We recommend taking magnesium in the morning because it can help, or it will help with digestion. It will give you a natural boost of energy, and that will last throughout the day, which will help you relax in the evening. So I hope that helped clear things up. Let's see. Do you add the mag to the first or second? No, I don't put the magnesium in the batch. Like Sharon's asking like homemade kombucha, putting magnesium in the big container. We don't do that. We put magnesium in our glass. We put our other drops in our glass, and then we like pour in, I don't know, 4 ounces, 6 ounces of kombucha and sip on that in the morning when we're getting ready. That's it. That was great. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully that helped improve your immune system. Let's build a bulletproof immune system this winter, this fall and winter. I'd love to hear from you guys as the weeks and months go on. These tips really helped because I'm kind of joking, but we thrive on feedback. Like I really enjoy writing handwritten cards. I still do that. We put handwritten cards in our orders. I don't do those. I do handwritten cards to our one-on-one clients, and I think I really enjoy them because of the feedback, because people actually respond and they're like, hey, thanks for taking the time to send a card. But I have no idea where I was going with that. I was saying that if this helped, or if you guys notice something in the future, in the weeks and months, and you say, hey, you know what, that detox bath really helped, or I really appreciate the zinc, vitamin D comments. Like on a side note, I forgot to mention that if you're taking vitamin D, you need to take magnesium with it. So if your magnesium levels are too low and you're taking vitamin D, your body won't absorb the vitamin D. So I suppose I should have threw in a plug there for our liquid magnesium, but you take your liquid magnesium with your vitamin D, K2, because that will help absorb the vitamin D. If you're taking vitamin D without proper magnesium stores, levels high enough in your body, you're not going to be absorbing what you think you are. Just like what I talked about with magnesium, there are certain elements that reduce the amount of absorbability your body's able to absorb through with magnesium, like I was talking about with like the fluoride stuff, with the medications, with the coffee, etc. Nancy says, oh my gosh, thank you, you're welcome. Rhonda, you're welcome. You're welcome. Laura says, have a safe and wonderful long weekend. Great. What is this? Great info. You guys are awesome. And then Nora says, I got a card. Thank you. I go to my mailbox maybe once a month. It's a great gesture. Thank you. You are welcome. Tracy says, I received a lovely handwritten anniversary card in the mail last week. You're welcome. I wrote that myself. Oh my gosh, I don't want to butcher it. Your name? Mora? Heavy on the OI. Mora? So mag, but no calcium. We need to chat. Happy long weekend. That's my suggestion. If you're gonna take calcium, definitely not with magnesium or close to. I'm not a Moira. Moira. That was way better. Did I get it? Moira. Yes. I don't like to. People get really upset when you tell them the opposite of what their doctor says, because people love their doctors, right? My doctor said this, I have to do this. We know people that won't do anything unless their doctor says it. So I don't like to say don't take calcium because people get upset. But I wouldn't take calcium. That's better. I'll tell you my perspective. I wouldn't take calcium. And if I did, it was like I had to for some reason, I definitely wouldn't take it with magnesium. Bingo. All right. Hey, Zach. Nice to see you're still in here. Zach's been ordering product from us for a long time. He has auto body shop in Olds that we got some work done on our car, and he always does a great job. Zach, you could drop your business link in the comments, and if anyone's interested or in your area, they can check you out. Bring on the germs. That's right, Dean. Let's go. I didn't talk about mindset in your immune system. I feel like I should. But another time. I'm out of here. Have a great day. Have a wonderful weekend. And happy immune system hunting. Oh, that's a good one. Attack those immune bugs. Go get them. Bye, everyone.